The best way to wake up in the morning is with Good Day Dakota.
It's 5:39. Welcome back. Well, April just wrapped up and there's lots of weather data from last month that can be used to predict future weather events.
Meteorologist Stone Schaefer takes a look at how the temperatures and moisture levels from April can affect this month's weather in this week's Weatherwise. Stone?
Yeah, well, we're going to start off this week's Weatherwise looking at temperatures from last month because we actually had an interesting month. Even though it didn't feel like it was very warm at times, we actually had a lot of days above average. We look at our April high temperatures here in Bismarck, and we can see we started the month above average. That second week, every day was above average there. And even though 50s and 60s doesn't seem that warm now, obviously back then that was above average. Then we got to that third week, and that's where things started to change just a tad bit. We had 40s and 30s for the 18th and 19th of April. And then the next week, we were up into the 70s again. So we were every which way with those average temperatures. We were 9 days below average and 16 days above average for the month of April. When we look at Minot, it is a very similar story. We started the month with many days above average, but then as we got to that third week, that's where things changed. And again, the coldest day was definitely the 18th at 35 degrees, and the 19th was also at 37. But then again, 7 days later, 6 days later, you were up to 80s in Minot. So we're every which way more days above average for the month of April in Minot. Now, we look at our precipitation numbers, and what we see is snowfall. We didn't really see much. There was some light stuff that just didn't get recorded in some of these cities, but when we take a look at rainfall, we actually above average in Bismarck and Minot. Bismarck saw 2.06 inches of rain, and then Minot seen right around 1.64 inches of rain in the month of April. Now, we look at Dickinson and Williston. They actually did fall a little bit short, a little less rain out there to the west for the month. Again, Dickinson saw right around 1.17 inches, and then Williston right around 0.85 inches of rain, so short of their averages there, but not by much. Williston was only by about 20.20 inches. Now, we look at our averages here for the month of May. We start the month off in the lower 60s at 63, then we get up to the lower 70s at 74, and again, every city is a little bit different. Out west, some of those cities are a little bit lower, but do end up being very close to that 74 degree by the end of the month. When we look at average moisture for the month of May, it's right around 2.5 inches, and then average snowfall, one of the last months with an average snowfall for the year, it's right around 0.4. So we'll have to see if we do get to those numbers. We're already starting off hot on this average moisture outlook. We look at our May temperature, though, sort of confident levels, and it shows that much of the state has equal chances of being cooler or warmer for the month, and we are starting the month below average, and it looks like next week will be more of the same, so we'll see how that sort of equalizes out to the east, so you could be a little bit warmer, and they're seeing that already. Now we look at our precipitation confidence levels for the month, and what we see is, again, equal chances of being wetter or drier here in the central western portions of the state. Again, we're starting the month off pretty wet. We'll see how that sort of gets us to that point of being close to our average for the month of May. And remember to continue sending your questions so I can answer them here weekly on Weatherwise.
And you can do so by heading over to kxnet.com, clicking on Weather, and then Weatherwise.
And there you'll see a link that